Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host with the biggest nose, JZ Courtside, coming at y'all today on Friday, December 19th, live at 9 a.m. Eastern. Ladies and gents, I got to remind y'all, in case you forgot, this is our last episode until December 29th. Last episode until December 29th. I'm leaving the country, going on vacation. So I am not going to be watching any NBA unless they have it on. Maybe I'll ask a bartender or something if I'm at the bar to put on the Pistons game. But this is the last episode until then, okay? So hopefully y'all can survive without your boy. But for now, we got a podcast to take care of, y'all. And then I'm out. If you guys do want more content, again, JZ Uncut on YouTube. We post high-quality documentaries that you can't find anywhere else. Not on Netflix, not on Prime. Not anywhere, okay? Not anywhere. So again, I do have to reiterate, last episode until December 29th, if there's plenty of content for you to just digest in the week that I'm gone. I got a lot of happy New Orleans fans in the audience today, and I'll get to y'all in a second. Today's episode, we are not doing winners and losers of the NBA week. I sort of forgot that it was the end of the week, so I just didn't do it. That's my apologies. Instead, we're going to do another up-down report at the end of this episode. But first, we got a lot of games to cover. And a lot of controversial calls, ladies and gents, and we will be talking about it. We're going to be showing some stuff throughout this episode as well. So if you would like to see some visuals, of course, come into the Twitch stream. We do these Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern, except for next week. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get it started with the Houston Rockets choking against the New Orleans Pelicans. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be talking about, did the Houston Rockets lose this game or did the New Orleans Pelicans win this? Shut up. Shout out to all my New Orleans fans in this world. Shout out to my boy Take Flight Nola into the Twitch stream who just gifted 5 subs. That's how hyped they are. Ladies and gents, that's how hyped they are. They're willing to gift 5 subs because their team won. And I even played the Retro Pels anthem before we started this episode. Shout out to the Pelicans, man. They did their thing, right? I got some important things to talk about when it comes to this team. Man. First and foremost, Saddiq Bey, clutch. Miss you in Detroit every day, baby. Trey Murphy, 3 first-round picks, please. Herb Jones, 18 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 8 steals, 50% shooting. Derek Queen, double-double, 16 points, 12 assists, plus 18 on the court. Jeremiah Fears, not a good game, but it's okay. You did your thing. And then off the bench, it's a pool party, low-key. Jordan Poole with 15 points. Zion looked horrible, but that's neither here nor there. We will take as many picks as you are willing to offer us for Zion Williamson. Zion did not play in the fourth quarter. He did not play in overtime. I think his minutes restriction was probably like 20 minutes. Should have been like 12 minutes. This dude looked so disengaged all night. He had this nice-ass lay. Just didn't work. As soon as they stopped playing him, they came back, man. They came back. Your Pelicans are not 5-22 bad. They're 6-22, so get it straight. They're also not 6-22 bad, man. Listen, the Pelicans this year have really, I've talked about it a lot. They've really reminded me about that iconic 28-game losing streak in Detroit, man. Most of their games, the Pistons couldn't close. They were up by 10 in the fourth quarter, and they choke it away and lose. The Pelicans are sort of the same way. They'd either fall down by 25 and lose, or fall down by 25 and have to come back and end up just choking in the middle of the comeback. They would literally bring the game back down 25. I remember the Timberwolves game just like a week and a half ago. They brought the game back. They lost. They've done that multiple times throughout this year where they've made it a game and then they just fail. And Willie Green genuinely held this team back. As soon as they lost Willie Green, all of a sudden they are a top 10 team in offense. They're looking fantastic, man. Listen, look at these stats right here. The Rockets, if you just look at this, they win this game. Look at everything here. They win. Biggest lead, 25 points. Doesn't matter. They had 20 turnovers. 20. They managed to choke this lead against the New Orleans Pelicans. In overtime, Reed Sheppard had a chance to win it. Didn't happen. I got some important things that I want to talk about. Kevin Durant, in case you guys don't know, I was doing a watch party of these games last night in my Discord server. If you guys want to get involved with those, join the Discord, idiots. Pay attention to the announcements, idiots. We watched this game's end together. We were all hype as shit. Y'all should have been there. Y'all should have been there. I said last night, and I've said multiple times throughout this week, that Kevin Durant, does he not want to win basketball games anymore? Is he just over it? Is he over it? This is the second time I'm going to say this. Last time, Şengün had 27 shots. And Durant had the same amount of shots, 15. What's going on, man? Why is Durant focused on 95% true shooting, 12 for 15, 32 points, and he doesn't want to shoot? Why does he not want to shoot? Why does Kevin Durant not want to win these basketball games? I don't get it. I genuinely don't get it. Alperen Şengün is good. But if he's starting to shoot 25 to 30 games every night, which he's doing, it is time to give Durant the ball. I don't care. People are telling me Herb Jones was denying him. You're absolutely correct. So Durant should bring the ball up the court like he's done for 17 years. I don't know what the hell is going on here. I feel like he's really focusing on that true shooting percentage and field goal percentage. There's no reason you have 32 points, 12 for 15 from the field. It genuinely does not make sense why you're not shooting more than that. I understand Alperen Şengün is younger. I understand Alperen Şengün's that guy in Houston, but this dude played 7 minutes less than Durant. 7 minutes less than Durant. And he still took 11 more shots than him. This is not going to work out. And I have another segment about the Houston Rockets later on in this episode. But Şengün should not be taking all the shots in overtime. Şengün should not be doubling Kevin Durant's shots on a nightly basis, especially when Durant is shooting that percentage, 4 for 6 from 3. He started the game 7 for 7. Durant is too good of a player to be taking a backseat to anybody. Okay? And it's not good. It's not good. That's not how you win basketball games. You know how you do win basketball games? Doing it by committee. And that's what the Pelicans are doing right now, man. Saddiq Bey plus 21 on the court. Herb Jones plus 19. Derek Queen plus 18. Plus 5 for Jeremiah Fears. This team is starting to click. And I said they're going to get better. I said they are going to get better as the year progresses. Herb Jones was playing incredible defense. Honestly, I don't think any of the hypothetical trades that we were talking about are realistic enough for a Herb Jones now, man. He's genuinely looking untradeable. Am I right? He's looking that good. Now, unfortunately, I think Herb Jones is quite a few. Yeah, he's 27. Herb came into the league as a young as an old 23-year-old rookie. That's why everybody was oozing all over him. So what you're seeing right now is potentially going to be the peak of Herb Jones. Unless he can finally get a consistent three-point shot rolling in, I just don't know. I feel as though 2 first-round picks is probably the number for Herb Jones. That's probably the number. I love watching this Pels team. They're a lot of fun to watch, and they have too much talent to be losing the games that they are, you know? I really do believe that the Pelicans could make some nice moves just to set themselves up even better for the future, because I still genuinely believe that Derek Queen, Jeremiah Fears are the core of this team. But I think you could convince a team like a Saddiq Bey that a contender could need. That's like an extra piece off the bench that could get you a bucket. Saddiq Bey is a bucket getter. I watched him in Detroit for all those years. I watched him hit game winner after game winner. They're nice, man. And I know Pelicans fans don't want to trade Trey Murphy, but unfortunately, I think you're just going to have to. I hate to say it, but you're probably going to have to. I love me some Trey Murph, and I wouldn't mind him in Detroit. I would really appreciate him over there, man. Shout out to the Pelicans. They got this shit done, man. They played so well not to start this game off. Durant should have had 50. Durant should have had 50. I don't know. He just didn't want to shoot the ball. Durant should have had 50. I think everybody agrees. 32 points on 12 for 15 shoot. He should have had 50. He should have, could have, and he didn't. Okay? And that's the unfortunate aspect of this. He just didn't want it. He just did not want it. Instead, he wanted Alperen Şengün to continue shooting. And I'm against that, man. I'm against it. Let's move on to our next game. Not a whole lot to discuss in regards to this one, but the New York Knicks, they come back and survive against the Indiana Pacers, led by their hero, Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson. I mean, come on, guys. You can't make up this level of skill. You can't make it up. Jalen Brunson is that guy. He is that guy. There's no disputing that Jalen Brunson. Look at this game-winning shot. Oh, sorry, guys. That's not the shot. Oops. Wait. Oh, wait. Why is this playing again? Wait. Oh, I'm sure the Pacers challenged this call. That's fine. I'm sure the Pacers challenged that call. Wait, I'm hearing reports that they did challenge the call and it was upheld. It was upheld. Oh, oops. No, this was the play I meant to show. Oops, my bad, guys. My bad, everybody. My bad. That's the play I was trying to show. My apologies. That's the play. Jalen Brunson doing his thing like he's done all year, doing his thing that he's done his whole career. Big game winner. I'm really surprised that Mike Breen gave him a double bang in the regular season, but hey, man, we move. It was a beautiful shot by a very short man, and it was an incredible finish. My overall analysis from this game is pretty simple. The Pacers didn't have a good game. Andrew Nembhard did his thing. He always does his thing against the Knicks for some reason. But Siakam had a very, very bad game, 9 for 22. I think he started the game 1 for 8. But yeah, not much help from anybody else. Mathurin didn't have a good efficiency game. Jay Huff didn't. Quentin Jackson did okay. It just wasn't a good game. It just wasn't a good game out of the Pacers. They did their thing. Moving on to the Knicks, though. I mean, hey, man, you can't make this up. You can't make it up. I mean, they did it by committee. They're missing Karl-Anthony Towns. They're missing Josh Hart. They're missing Landry Shamet. They're missing Mitch Robinson. And they're missing Deuce McBride. And they still managed to get it done. I love how the TikTok just stat watches. Pascal had 26 points. That's a bad game. Yeah, when you shoot 9 for 22. Yeah, it's a pretty inefficient game, TikTok. Pretty inefficient game. Jalen Brunson did his thing last night. He was 10 for 23. Not a good game either for Jalen Brunson. We can all agree to that. Not a good game from Jalen Brunson. But these are the kinds of games that I expect teams to win. So I've said it multiple times throughout this year. I'm going to bring up a few teams here, and you let me know what you think of these answers. We've heard from Heat fans they're missing players, and that's why they're losing games. That's BS. We've heard from Cavs fans that they're missing players, and they're losing games. That's BS. The Magic are missing players, and they're losing games. That's BS. When you look at the tiers in the Eastern Conference, there are quite literally tiers in both conferences. The Pistons have missed starters. They've missed entire starting lineups. They've missed their top 8 guys on their team, and one with G Leaguers and 2-way contracts. And then you have the Knicks, who are winning without half their roster, half their starting lineup, and they're winning these games. Good teams get it done. And the New York Knicks are the best team in the Eastern Conference. Good teams don't care if you're missing your third option on offense. Good teams don't care if you're missing your 4th or 5th or 6th or 7th options, which they are. They're still winning these games. And shout out the Pacers, man. They're doing literally the best they can to make this a competitive tank. 6-21 right now. They're keeping these games close. They've missed their players all year long, and they've tried to be competitive as long as possible. It's the rebuild year in the middle of a good run that they had last year. And I've preached it for the last year. Even though I wasn't doing this content creation thing for the NBA for the last year, I've preached it for the last 2 months. But even before I was still a gaming creator, I was still preaching that depth wins you championships now. Straight up. It doesn't matter how top heavy you are. Does not matter. Look at the Clippers. Look at the Rockets. Look at the Lakers. Does not matter how top heavy you are. Because in this NBA, in the modern NBA, there's a reason for all these calf strains, y'all. The NBA is very demanding now. More demanding than it ever has been athletic-wise. With the way that the NBA is now, you need depth to win. Look at the last 7 champions and tell me that depth didn't triumph. The Thunder, deepest team in the NBA. They won. The Nuggets, deepest team in the NBA at that point. They won. Who won the year before? Was it the Warriors? No, Celtics. Oh, Celtics won the year before. Sorry, the Celtics won more recently than the Nuggets did. Celtics deeper than the rest. Nuggets deeper than the rest. The Warriors, strength in numbers, baby. Look at all these teams. The deepest teams are winning championships now. And that's how it's going to be. And that's how it's going to be for a while. It doesn't matter about your top 3 guys. What matters is the team all around. So when people see the Pistons, when people see the Knicks, when people see the Thunder, when people see these teams, you can throw your starting lineup out. That's fine. But if their bench is outdoing your bench, chances are the team with a better bench is going to win, particularly in the playoffs. Because if you have an injury, if you're missing out players, that's how these teams win. That's how Indiana made it to the finals last year. That's how they surprised everybody. That's how the Thunder made it. That's how all of this happens. When you have a guy like Tyler Kolek getting a double-double off the bench with 16 points, 11 assists, and 6 rebounds, 7 for 10 from the field, that screams depth. That screams depth. I'd say massive, massive, massive shout out. Here's the thing. Mike Brown, he's basically a stuffed teddy bear, okay? Now, Knicks fans, I'll explain what that means in a second. He's a stuffed teddy bear. I'm not saying he's like Ty Lue where he's a puppet, but he's a stuffed teddy bear. Mike Brown will sit there and watch and observe, and then he'll come to life. And that's what he does every time he's a head coach. He'll sit there, not move, not react, and then right when you least expect it, he'll react accordingly. With the Mike Brown minutes, in particular in the NBA Cup Finals, he did something that Tibbs never did in his tenure. And this is why Tibbs is the most overrated coach in NBA history. I don't think he should ever have another job in the NBA ever again. He's good. He's a good floor raiser. He's a good floor raiser. He can bring a bad team to mediocrity, but he cannot make a mediocre team a championship level team. And Mike Brown has the capabilities of doing so. He had Tyler Kolek in the game in the Cup Finals. He had Jordan Clarkson in the late game of the finals. He's bringing in these players at times where normal coaches wouldn't. He's putting in players who earn those minutes to stay on the floor. Yeah, the way he treated Huck Porty last night was brilliant as well. He talked to him for 60 seconds and put him back in. I absolutely agree. Mike Brown he's a good coach. He's a good coach. He's not a great coach. I'm not going to blow smoke up our asses. He's a good coach. I think he's better than average. He knows what to do and how to do it. He gets everybody involved when he needs it. And that is what's going to lead the Knicks into the finals this year. Unless there's a total collapse in the playoffs. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Ladies and gents, let's move on to the other games of the night. The other games. I'm not going to talk about all of them. Okay, there were a lot of games last night. There were a lot. And I low-key got to keep this episode short because I got a lot of work I got to do for the main YouTube channel. You guys know Friday streams are always the most dead streams out of the week. It's been the same case for the last 4 years for me. Friday streams are always the worst streams for me because everybody's cramming work in. They all save their work for Friday because we're all procrastinators. Guess what? I saved most of my work for Friday. So I'm busy. I got to get a haircut. I got to pack my clothes. I got to record this video. I got to get all the footage for that video. And then I got to review the video that's uploading tomorrow. So I got a lot of stuff to do, and we're going to keep this episode a little bit short. Friday is always the worst stream, but it's the best stream because you guys are here. Okay? The photo of the night last night was this one right here, y'all. This was the photo of the night. This was not a foul, by the way. This was not a foul. I'm not going to talk too much about the Pistons. We got some games that I want to touch on. The Detroit Pistons game last night, I'm not upset about the loss. I'm genuinely, I can tell you with my whole heart, I'm not upset by this loss because it was clear right from the beginning of this game that the refs had an agenda. After this play by Anthony Davis, if you call this a play, Anthony Davis knocked the ball out of Jalen Duren's hands, and when he took the ball out of Duren's hands, he was standing out of bounds. So 2 penalties right there. For the entire fourth quarter of this game and overtime, they were playing football, and we couldn't compete. Because as you guys know, the Pistons do not get calls. You know me. I don't blame foul calls being the deciding factor of a game. I hate that. But when it's screaming at you, obviously, the Mavericks had 36 free throws. The Pistons had 20. So for my guy in the TikTok saying, bro, you're complaining, this is full authority to complain. They got 17 more points than the Pistons did at the from finish to end. At one point, it was 25 free throws to 7. The refs had an agenda, and this tells me that they had an agenda right here because JB Bickerstaff after the game, JB criticized the officiating, said the ref who ejected Ausar, oh, by the way, sorry, I forgot to mention that, Ausar Thompson got ejected. Ausar Thompson did. Ausar Thompson, who has never gotten a technical foul in his entire NBA career, got ejected for, quote, making contact with official Josh Goebel. As you can see, this is the closest he gets to him. He doesn't touch him. This happened 8 minutes into the game. LeBron James, oh, believe me, I know. LeBron James ripped the referee's arm off. Didn't even get a tech. Ausar Thompson, get ready. Ausar does touch him. Are you ready? When the ref pushes him back. This is the only time he touches him. The ref, no, there was no bump. Anybody that says there's a bump, I have watched this replay from every angle about 30 times. He does not touch him. He stops here. This is the closest he gets. And then he pushes him away. He pushes him. He puts his hand on Asar's chest. He pushes him. Not 1 tech, 2 techs, you're out of here. Not even a warning. Not even a technical foul. An immediate ejection for a player who has never had a technical foul in his entire NBA career. Where's the benefit of the fucking doubt? Nothing. Duncan Robinson also got injured in the Pistons game, okay? He also got injured. Here's the difference, man. This is the duality. Ausar does not touch him. The ref touches him. And then here you have LeBron James ripping the referee's arm off. Nothing happened here. Nothing. Not a technical foul. Nothing. But Ausar gets ejected for staring at a ref. I have seen Draymond Green every night do worse than this, not get called for a technical foul. And Ausar gets ejected for that. Now, at one point, Pistons had 7 free throws. The Mavericks had 26. Let me continue. Someone dug up these stats. Josh Goebel, when officiating the Mavericks, minus 49 wins, career most. Against the Mavericks, minus 8.5 shooting fouls, career least. This was not a foul. That was not a foul. Anthony Davis wrapped around Jalen Duren. They asked Josh Goebel why he ejected Ausar and why he gave JB Bickerstaff a technical foul. Because mind you, Cade got a tech, JB got a tech, Ausar got thrown out, Duncan Robinson got hurt. Can you explain why Ausar Thompson was ejected? His simple answer was for aggressively approaching and making contact with the official. Sir, you made the contact. Why was JB Bickerstaff assessed with a technical foul just before the half? Continuous complaining. I'd like to show you guys this clip. In case you guys don't know, Cade Cunningham got called for a technical foul in the first half. He got called for a technical foul in the first half, okay? So, at the end of the first half, Cade Cunningham went up to this official, don't know his name, and was just talking to him. He was just talking. Just talking. This is halftime right now. And then Josh Goebel walks into the camera. Just nobody's talking to him. Nobody's talking to Josh Goebel. You guys see it. Cade's talking to the ref. Josh Goebel walks past, bumps into Cade. gives the tech. And he pointed at Cade, just so we're all clear. He gave this tech to Cade, but then he realized Cade's going to be ejected if he gives that to Cade. So we got told, all the commentators told the broadcast, the Mavs broadcast and the Pistons broadcast, that Cade Cunningham was just thrown out of the game at halftime. He gave it and assessed it to Cade. He said number 2 tech and gave it to Cade when he's not even involved in this action. And then he realized that was Cade's second tech that he called on him and then changed it to JB Bickerstaff. It's truly unbelievable. It is truly unbelievable. Now, again, I'm not going to say that the officiating is the one reason the Pistons lost this game. Pistons shot 6 for 33 from the three-point land. Horrible. The Pistons shot horribly, 38% from the field. You cannot win games like that. The Pistons were down 18 and brought it back, led by two-way contract Dennis Jenkins and Marcus Sasser. The Pistons did all they can to come back. They failed. The referees did not help. Let's move on to another fun and entertaining game. The Charlotte Hornets and the Atlanta Hawks. Jalen Johnson, 43 points, 11 rebounds, 9 assists. They were down by, I think they were down by like 25. The Hawks were. They brought it back. They brought it back. The Hawks were down by 24. And they brought it back. The Hawks never let in this game. Not once. Unbelievable game from Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Jalen Johnson. Trae Young, 8 points, 10 assists, -3 on the court. So he didn't really play a whole lot, only 18 minutes. Nickeil and Jalen Johnson played incredibly well. Hornets masterclass. Incredible games from Brandon Miller. Your big three, Brandon Miller, Con Knipple, and LaMelo Ball. They hit 21 threes in the first 25 minutes of this game. They hit 21 threes in the first 25 minutes of the game. 21. For the rest of the game, they hit 3 threes. So they started to lock. They started to come back down to earth. The Hornets were doing their thing. They were cooking up a storm. They were having some of the best shooting that we've ever seen. I can't watch Hornets games live because I live in North Carolina, so it's blacked out. But I can watch the full games condensed. And my God, there were so many heat checks in this game. Con Knipple, 28 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, plus 18 on the court, 6 for 12 from deep. Incredible player. LaMelo Ball did his thing, man. 28 points, 13 assists. 10 for 16 from the field, 8 for 11 from three-point land. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And I hate that we'll probably only see this one more time for the rest of the year because LaMelo can't stay on the court. The best ability is availability, ladies and gentlemen. But what you just saw could have been the future of Charlotte Hornets. LaMelo Ball, Con Knipple, Brandon Miller. I wish that could happen. I just don't think we're going to see them enough for me to even warrant talking about them for more than 5 minutes. I'm sorry, Hornets fans. I truly hope that you guys can stay healthy and play basketball because, my God, when y'all play basketball and you guys are healthy, this shit is fun. I don't think I watched a more fun game as far as offense goes this all season so far. Best ability is availability, guys. Next game, real quick, Phoenix Suns come back and beat the Golden State Warriors. Another game decided by the officials. The end of the game, Warriors weren't allowed to do anything. They made up their mind. Suns were getting every call that they wanted, and the Suns ended up inking out a win by 1. Straight up. Curry, horrible game. Absolutely abysmal game. Curry has these weird games where he goes 3 for 13 from the field for 15 points. You got the Pods game, Pods legacy game. I mean, look at this bench production. This is just horrendous, man. This is horrendous. And Jonathan Kuminga is still only getting 10 minutes, 1 for 5 from the field. How do you expect the guy to shoot well if he's not playing at all in the NBA? There's going to be a lot of last 2-minute reports tomorrow morning, y'all. There's going to be a lot of corrections done by the officials. Shout out the Suns for winning that game. The Lakers and Jazz, I'm calling it the all offense, no defense game. Luka Doncic got called for a technical foul this game for dribbling the ball too high. He got called for a technical foul for bouncing the ball on the court too high. Oh boy, another ref that's just in his feelings and thinks he's the star of the show. Have you guys noticed that's 3 games so far last night that have had their impact done by the referees, okay? LeBron, when he was orchestrating the offense of this game, was beautiful. When it was Luka, and it was not looking good. LeBron needs to handle the ball way more often for this team. Scary scene as well. Clayton Jr. dove into LeBron's leg. He was okay. He might sit out for a game because that soreness is going to be tough. Ace Bailey had a great game. Keontae George had a great game. The Jazz were without Lauri Markkanen, and it showed. They needed more offense. The Jazz needed to score 150 points to win this game. This is the all offense, no defense game, man. And if you guys like offense, this is the game to watch, man. This is the game. Luka, 45 points, 14 assists, 11 rebounds, 14 for 28 from the field. His three-point shot keeps like trolling. So one night he'll shoot 8 for 9. The other night he'll shoot 4 for 12. It's weird. It's weird. Let's talk about another game that was decided by officiating. Guys, have y'all noticed that? That's 4 games last night that were decided by officiating. Well, the Lakers wasn't decided by officiating, but there were impacts made. So 3 games decided by officiating. It's starting to really like intrigue me why Deni Avdija has one of the best whistles in the NBA. Why is he done to deserve the whistle he has? 12 free throws. Cade Cunningham could never. He could never. Nobody on the Pistons could ever get 12 free throws. Deni Avdija, sure, you get 12 free throws. And the game-winning play, Deni Avdija was going for a reckless layup. Drove into Russell Westbrook. The game ends. All of a sudden you hear the whistle. The game ended and they called a whistle. They get 2 free throws. Portland wins the game. They were down 1. They get 2 free throws. Portland wins. I feel for Westbrook. I feel for Kings fans. They can't get lucky, man. This game was decided literally by a whistle. Because imagine calling fouls with no seconds left on the clock. Imagine that. That is not basketball. It's just not. And then up for last, we got the Magic falling to the Denver Nuggets. I got to admit, the Magic did put up a fight. They were down by 21, and they came back. They had a pretty good third quarter and fourth quarter, but unfortunately, it just wasn't enough to topple Jamal Murray's unbelievable performance, 32 points. Jokic with another 20-point triple-double like it's nothing. Spencer Jones, good game. Cam Johnson, good game. Guys, this is all without Peyton Watson, Christian Braun, and Aaron Gordon. They are missing 2 starters, and they're 6th man of the year. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. Beautiful basketball. Beautiful basketball. And they're my favorite to come out of the West. They're my favorite. Straight up. They're my favorite to come out of the West. I mean, they're not my favorite. They're just who I'm leaning towards coming out of the West. Paolo Banchero, don't get fooled by box scores, ladies and gents. Because if you look at this game, you'll say, damn, Paolo had 26, 16, and 10. Not just was he 0 for 4 from 3. Not just was he 9 for 21 from the field. Not just was he a -6. I don't know what the hell Jamal Mosley's doing down there in Orlando. But why, for 7 minutes of this game, was it Paolo Banchero at the top of the key, dribbling, and everybody else has a cinder block tied to their shoes? What are we doing? Why is nobody moving? Why is it Paolo Banchero iso ball? Everybody else is stuck in the wings and corners. What the hell are we doing? What kind of basketball is that? You know why, right? It's because Paolo's their cutting man. Paolo, he can be on ball, but if you got no shooters surrounding him, then it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Desmond Bane, his worst game of the season, 3 for 11. Paolo Banchero did not have a good game. Do not be fooled. Paolo started to have a good game. You know when? When he started driving it to the hoop. When he remembered that he's 6'11", 250. That's when he started to have a good game. When he remembered how big he is. Wendell Carter had a good game as well, man. 26 points, 8 rebounds. Unfortunately, they just couldn't get it done. They just could not get it done. And that's the story of last night's games, man. That's the story of last night's games. Okay. Ladies and gents, I did have another segment saved for the end of this podcast, but honestly, they're not, it's not that good of a segment. I got to be fully honest with everybody. So I think I might just call it here and end the pod recap of all of those games, right? Mind you, we will be back December 29th on Monday. It's a Monday, December 29th. So TikTok, if you guys are wondering where I'm going to be at, that's where I'm going to be. John, I'm going to be gone until December 29th, Monday. I'm gone all next week. TikTok, YouTube, if you guys are enjoying the stream, be sure to swing on into the Twitch stream, okay? Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. Ladies and gentlemen, podcast listeners, be sure to leave a 5-star rating and review. Drop some likes, drop some follows. I would appreciate it very, very much. And make sure you join the Twitch stream. That's where you get connected, MJ. That's where you get really joined into the community. We do this Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern. Unfortunately, we will be gone next week. I am going on a vacation, but that's going to do it for today's episode, y'all. My apologies. I got to save my voice. I got a big recording I got to do today, and I got to save my voice, y'all. Ladies and gents, boys and girls, I got nothing left to say, y'all, except for Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. And as always, guys, thank you for watching/listening. I will see y'all Monday, December 29th. Come through to the Twitch stream, TikTok. Hope to see y'all come through. Vaulted and MJ, I'm talking to you boys. Come through.